It has begun.
From the mountain to your street, giving you a taste of something sweet. So don't go away, sit down, take a seat. It's Midweek Motivation, not drop this beat, man. That's my dog. Let's go.
Welcome to Midweek Motivation, real conversations with real people about a very real God. I'm your host, Darren. This is my also host, Trevor. As you can tell, look, we had this conversation the other day. I don't know if we've had this conversation with our friends here. We wear black a lot. Did we have this conversation on Midweek, or was this
actually
before
last Midweek? We had the conversation like
that was
everybody that watches Midweek, or you said you were going back and editing the videos.
Yes, that's right.
And you said like every one we were both wearing our black
black hoodies.
So I made a conscious effort to not wear a black hoodie. Instead, I wore a black hooded T-shirt to shake it up a little bit.
Pretty sure that's a hoodie. Pretty sure that's still a hoodie.
Nah, I disagree, but nah.
But it just dawned on me again that we're both wearing black hoodies.
Maybe I should be in production. Maybe I've lost my purpose.
I think you should be. I think you're production adjacent.
I've missed my purpose.
We kind of share you a little bit. Yeah. You
know what? Give us your opinion down below in the comments. Should I stay on the worship team or should I go to production?
Well, you're not allowed to leave the worship team, but you know. You know, that is what it is. I don't think Marshall will let you.
Marshall says over my dead body.
I don't know. Marshall keeps stealing my production people.
That's true.
I don't know if I'm going to continue to allow that. We're going to have to end that at some point. But thanks for joining us. Another episode. Good day. I almost went to the outro there. That would have been bad. That would literally have been the shortest episode ever.
People are like, oh, okay. Cool.
But hey, by the way, I haven't mentioned this in a while. We are available on Apple Podcast, Spotify. You can find us on the app. You can find us all over, lots of different places. So, love for you to share that with somebody. You know, if you want. Yeah, I wanted it. The was it Mr. Beast always has, oh no, it's Mark Rober. His videos, it always ends with like, rather than like subscribe, it's always please consider subscribing. It's always so polite. It's very fun. But I also feel like that super polite version is the thing you get to do after you've already got like 5 million subscribers. And yeah, he's got all sorts of stuff. Couple things coming up. Stephen Curtis Chapman is happening this Saturday right here. Tickets are still available. I haven't got an update on how many tickets we sold, but it should be a pretty packed house. So buy your tickets. You can buy them online. You can buy them online at this point. So go buy them online. You can find them at our website, or you can do this very cool thing where you use the Google machine and Google Stephen Curtis Chapman in Roanoke, and I guarantee you can find it.
Yeah. And you know what? You might not get to shake Stephen Curtis Chapman's hand, but if you don't, you can take solace in knowing that I will be there. You can shake my hand. Yeah,
that's true. That anytime is you want. Very close. You know, the thing about Stephen Curtis Chapman, he has very cool glasses.
That is true.
Have you noticed that? That's very cool glasses.
He's pretty fly.
Yes. Very cool looking dude.
Old guy. I didn't mean it, Stephen. You're not old.
Do you think he has a stylist? Do Christian artists have stylists?
Guarantee you he has a stylist.
I feel like they've got to have
his wife.
People. Well, that's true. That's a good point. Could just be his wife.
Yeah. Or his sons. They'll probably tell him how it is. Like, Dad,
you look old.
Just
because he doesn't seem like he dresses like an old man.
Yeah.
But he's not dressed like, it didn't look like he's trying too hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the glasses have a lot to do with that. So somebody probably helped him.
He dresses old-fashioned Nashville, I think. Is that fair?
That's true. I think that's good.
Born in Kentucky, lives in Nashville, has class.
He's very classy. I hope he's really classy in person.
Really
I've never
good at chicken picking.
What is chicken picking?
It's a type of picking on the guitar. Chicken picking. Never heard of that?
All I can imagine.
It's very popular in country and bluegrass.
You go out to this yard full of chickens. It's fenced in, and like, yeah, that one. That's all I can imagine. Chicken picking is.
Chicken picking.
Chicken picking. Yep, that's the one right there.
You meet Stephen Curtis Chapman. You're like, so my buddy tells me you.
I hear you're quite the picker of chickens.
He'd probably just walk away immediately.
All right. I usually only get to meet their production guys. I usually get really close to the production guys. We hang out. But I don't usually meet the talent. So if I get to meet Stephen Curtis Chapman, I will ask him, it's like, hey, I hear you are quite adept at chicken picking. Can you tell me more? It can't, look, he's been touring for years. It can't be the weirdest question he's ever been asked.
I would hope not.
There's no way that's the weirdest thing he's ever been asked. Good heavens. Stephen Curtis Chapman's coming to Roanoke, back by popular demand, and the first night of his tour. So if you want to be on the first night of his tour.
I didn't realize it was the first night of the tour.
Very first night. He wanted to start off in Roanoke, Virginia. Yep, super cool.
Nice.
So that's happening. That's Saturday. Night before is If One Night. I think there's still some tickets available. I think Courtney said there was like 80 some people registered. So you can still go to that.
We need more.
Yep, always more. There's plenty of room. Just watch out for the pews. And then, have you heard about the pews attacking people, Evan?
Oh, is it because they're darker now?
Well, I don't know, because I've hit my hip and my thigh on the pews many times, and it hurts. Which I think is just a pew thing. I think it's just a thing for pews.
I mean, yeah,
but the corners are a little sharp, so there's some pew smackage.
Have any pew distributors ever thought of maybe rounding the edges? Making them a little more pleasant.
I've never met a pew distributor
or a crafter,
manufacturer,
or
carpenter,
a pew carpenter. Imagine your specialty being pews.
I mean, that sounds pretty
That's a
whole.
very niche, awesome specialty.
Yeah. What do you call that guy?
The Pew Man.
Pete the Pew Man.
Pete the Pewman.
Pete the Pewman. Oh, my name's Pete, and I'm a pewman. Excuse me, sir. Come again? I'm a pewman. I make pews. Ah, yes.
I can't. This is one of those episodes, man.
Apologies. Apologies. I knew what a pewman was.
I don't even know why I'm laughing so hard.
A maker of pews. It's because you're 90,000 grams of protein you just shoved through your body.
I never knew what a churchman was until Pastor John explained it to me.
Right?
So you
Great
learn
word.
something new every time that man gets on the stage.
Absolutely. We got to hang out with him this weekend, both on Saturday and on Sunday. 40 Days of the Cross is still happening. So hopefully you're, I'll admit I'm behind right now. So I need to catch up. Maybe you're behind too. I'd encourage you. There's nothing wrong with just jumping in on whatever day you're on. Or if you're a real type A person that has to complete everything and catch up, go ahead and catch up. So don't forget to do those and keep commenting. It's been cool to see. I've left all the notifications on my phone because I really enjoy seeing when everybody's commenting and leaving notes because it's cool to see the number of people in the church that are interacting with the same devotion, the same portion of scripture every single day. It's very unifying, very cool thing. So hopefully you're participating. If not, jump in, consider it, jumping in, all that good stuff. We're going to pray that Trevor doesn't knock this lamp over at some point.
I'm trying my hardest here. I'm just going to, you keep talking. I'm going to readjust.
That's okay. So 40 Days of the Cross is happening. Big weekend is happening in a week and a half, roughly. It's about 10 days, about a fortnight. Well, no, that's 14 days.
Is that really?
10 days?
A fortnight. Okay.
All right. If you know how long a fortnight is, put it in the comments below. Let us know. But big weekend's happening. We were talking through some of the plans. We were playing through some of the set last night. There's some new songs. It's going to be fun. And I will tell you this, it might get loud. It might get loud. And I would say it might get loud.
You might end up being washed.
Yeah, could be washed. You might, never mind. I can't think of any other songs. I can't think of any of the other new ones. Anyways, we just closed up Family Month on Sunday. Pastor John finished up with our family conference on Saturday, and then Pastor John closed our Family Month series Sunday up here on the mountain, simulcast down to Vinton and online and everything. One, really cool. I love having our campuses all together, hearing the same message, right? Yeah. All three of our campuses together. Super cool. I love technology. I love that we can do that. Also cool to have Pastor John back up on the stage. And then somebody, so I showed somebody his outline, and they're like, is that like that's his whole outline? It's not a big outline, right?
No.
They're like, is that normal? Like, yep, that's exactly right. So fantastic. He's found a strategy that's worked for him, and it's been fantastic. So got to do a cool thing, got to have him on stage with Dustin. And one thing I'll say about Pastor John always has a great sense of honor. And he always does a great job of giving honor to Dustin and treats Dustin like his pastor, which is a cool thing.
Yeah.
Because, he's kind of he was Dustin's boss for a long time. So it's neat to see, he's kind of watched Dustin grow up a little bit, and then now to see him, hand the baton over is pretty neat. That's been fun to watch. But Family Month, we walked through a couple different things. We talked about children. We talked about marriage. We talked about the older investing in the younger and vice versa. Talked about a whole lot of things. So we wanted to touch base on a couple of those and just recap a little bit of those things today. If you haven't watched all these messages, they're all available on our app, on our website. You can find them on Facebook. You can find most of them on YouTube. And you can go back and watch those messages, catch up on all those. Just a great month. We'll definitely be doing this again. The feedback we got from Family Conference, I think we'll do Family Conference again. But so thanks so much for being part of that. Thanks for participating in those Family Month devotionals. If you're not still doing it, jump back in, catch up. And it does work for any month. So it doesn't work just for Family Month. You could do it anytime with your family. So maybe revisit those a couple times a year. I think those have been good. So we'll probably put out some more content like that here in the future. But yeah. I wanted to recap just kind of quickly a couple of those things that we'd covered throughout the month. The first week, Dustin brought us the value of children. And it happened to be on the same day. Not happened, but it worked out to be on the same day we're dedicating children. So super cool experience. Get to dedicate a bunch of babies. Always fun. But we talked about the value of children, and it's one of those that I feel like in our society, we hear a lot about like people that don't want to be parents for one reason or another. And in some case, there's some probably more legit reasons, but a lot of cases, the things I hear from people are just that kind of sentiment of like, I don't want to do that. That sounds tough. Or, and maybe they didn't have good examples as parents, so now they don't want to do that or whatever. All sorts of reasons. But one of the verses Dustin brought up was Psalm 127:3. It says this about children. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from him. So children, we talk all the time. You'll hear, sometimes you'll hear older folks, usually grandparents, talk about how children are a blessing. And, what's funny is they don't always feel like a blessing.
I'm glad you said it.
I'll go ahead and say that for us, right? I'll be the honest parent in the room for all of us, right? Sometimes your children don't feel like a blessing. Sometimes they're the reason that you're bald, right? At least for me. My second born is absolutely the reason that I'm bald, right? But in fairness, I'm the reason that my dad is bald.
Yeah.
So, turnabout's fair play. Which is also a phrase I've never understood. Never fully understood it. I also used the phrase gravy on the biscuit the other day. And John Brunk looked at me. He's like, gravy on the biscuit? Like, you should have heard that. That seems like kind of a country saying that John Brunk would have known.
Let's be clear. Midwest country is different than Southern country.
But that felt like a Southern country thing to say. Or is it not? Gravy on the biscuit? Well, that's just gravy on the biscuit.
I've never heard it before.
Never. That is amazing to me.
Yeah.
Gravy on the biscuit. Like icing on the cake?
That's better.
Right. Which Hudson pointed out to me one day when I said that to him. Like I said something, oh, this is great, but this is nice, and that's just icing on the cake. And he said, but who eats cake without icing? That's a great point. Isn't that a great point? Like, why would you eat cake without icing?
I do.
Well, some people do too. I said that in our group the other day, and somebody's like, I actually kind of like the
That's
cake.
why somebody created pound cake.
Well, what I told them is essentially, you don't like cake, you like muffins. Nothing wrong with muffins. If you like muffins, cake, muffins, same thing. I'm gonna say it, same thing. And pancake and waffles, same thing.
Technically, cake without icing is sponge.
You're really selling it. Please give me some more sponge.
I prefer the sponge.
These are also all conversations we have with our children. Sometimes we have debates around the dinner table, and I make them take sides. Like I'll throw out a topic, and then I make them take a side. Like, all right, is cake? Maybe that's what we need to do. Is cake without icing a muffin?
It's a giant muffin. No, son, it's a sponge.
Right. Well, a cupcake. I guess a cupcake is probably a more apt comparison. But we make our kids argue because they're already arguing. We just make them defend their point. It's very much fun, and then they can have rebuttals, and it's actually a lot of fun. So I definitely encourage arguments at the dinner table.
Encourage debate.
Encourage
amongst your kids.
Good, healthy debate.
Don't let your kids argue with you, but let them argue amongst themselves.
Yeah, you're going to debate enough with your spouse. Like you don't have to promote that and encourage that. I wouldn't say argue, but you might debate. Debate's a good thing. But we talked a lot about the value of children and the fact that children are in fact a blessing. And I'll just say for me, like I can't imagine not having kids. Right. There's something, and I feel like until you've had kids that you're responsible for that are your kids, right? Whether they're adopted or biological, until they're your kids, right? I don't think this is something you really understand, right? I think there are different ways to understand it. If you're an aunt or an uncle or a big brother or whatever, there are other ways that you understand this. But I think there's something very specific about that parent-child relationship that when you hold that child, right, for the first time, that's your child. Like, there's no real way to describe it. Like, you didn't know you could feel that way. Like, I will never forget holding Hudson for the first time. It's like, oh, I get why parents have no problem. Just like I'd kill for my kid. It's like without question.
Yeah,
for
sure.
That's maybe that's more of a dad thing than a mom thing. I don't know, but I won't speak for the moms.
Both. Yeah.
My mom would have killed for us. Probably still would. She's scary. She's a nurse, so I was pretty sure if she was ever going to kill me or kill somebody, it would be like a syringe full of air or something. Something like super undetectable like that.
Well, like Pastor John was saying Sunday about his mom, my mom is the president of the Trevor Worley fan club.
That's pretty fantastic.
She's a big fan.
Yeah, she beat me out for it. I'm a close second, I like to think, but
Yeah.
Where's Lynn Worley rate in the Trevor Worley fan club?
I'd say he's up
there.
Yeah,
all right,
he's up there too.
He's a good dude. I like Lynn Worley. I want to be Lynn Worley when I grow up.
Me too.
Mostly, I just want to look that good bald. I don't think I look as good bald as he does. He pulls off bald so well.
True. It's true.
I aspire to that one day. Yeah. So children are a heritage from the Lord. That's what Dustin brought us that first week. Second week, we got to hear from both Ben and from Pastor John Spencer. Two of our youngest guys on staff knocked it out of the park. Great message. They had a great collaboration between the two of them, and we did a whole episode on it, so we won't talk much about it. We talked about intergenerational partnership, and he brought up this verse. Proverbs 20:29 says, "The glory of young men is their strength, and gray hair is the splendor of the old." And I read that and I think, I don't know which I am, because I don't have any hair, and I'm definitely not a young man.
But you also have some
So am I an old man with no splendor, or am I just do I still count because of the gray in my beard?
You're still building your splendor.
Yeah, I guess we're kind of in the middle of between being young and old, because there's plenty of people that think we're old and there's plenty of people that think we're young.
People keep telling me you hit old once you hit 50. You're considered in the old category.
I buy that. I'm pretty sure I'm halfway to grumpy old man already. Like, I want to tell kids to get off my lawn. I get annoyed at the way the kids talk and complain about that.
I guess I'm in the same boat.
I use phrases like back in my day. And I try not to.
We used to listen to real music.
Oh my gosh.
Where people actually played an instrument and didn't click a button.
I mean, I like to think I listen to music in both, because Linkin Park was like the coolest fusion of both of those worlds. But that's an aside. But they both use this phrase, intergenerational partnership. Really cool phrase. And they kind of showed us the beauty of what the church is made to be, is that the older and the younger support each other, right? The younger kids have passion, and the older folks have wisdom, right? And when you can put those two together, right, the things that can happen. And I love the way they phrase this. I like to think they got together and worked on this statement, because I think it's absolutely true. The statement is, God's power flows through intergenerational partnership, right? Yeah. God doesn't start using you when you hit a certain age, and God doesn't stop using you when you hit a certain age. Right. The goal of the church is to bring those generations together, right, to ultimately bring glory to God. And he does that through that partnership. So shout out to Ben and John for bringing us that message, working together, bringing it to all three of our campuses. And then last week, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before that, Dustin took on that great challenge of talking about husbands and wives and family roles.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that people tend to feel very strongly about. And it's one of those things, if you don't stop and really consider what Scripture is actually saying, right? If you don't, set aside all of the preconceived notions about what you've been told about what Scripture says is the right place for a husband and a wife, then it's really easy to misconstrue it, right? But I thought Dustin did a fantastic job. Go back and listen to that message. Fantastic analogy about the husband being in the driver's seat, right? And I think the thing that people don't realize in that analogy of, if you're in the driver's seat, you're responsible for everybody else in the car. Right. So the thing that I think people miss in this, when we talk about the husband is the head of the wife, the husband is in the driver's seat, the thing that people are missing is it's not necessarily it's not necessarily so much a place of honor as it is a burden of responsibility. Right. So it's not because men are better than women or anything like that. It's not a matter of status. It's a matter of, here's the burden that God's chosen to give to men, right? Not because they're smarter, not because they're stronger, right? I guess in some cases stronger. I am not any smarter than my wife, not in any way, right? And any wise man would say so. But like, my wife is much smarter than me. I don't make decisions for us. We make decisions together, right? The verse that I think people tend to miss, that I'm really glad Dustin made sure to read, was Ephesians 5:29. It says, "Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ." Right? The one that everybody focuses on, that people don't like to read at weddings,
is submit to your husband.
Yeah. People miss that one. But you know what? That verse has very different context when you read the first one that says, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ.
Yep.
So starting out, like, you guys both have to submit to each other because of Christ, right? Great message. I won't steal the rest of it, but got to go back and watch it. Fantastic analogy. Our group had a lot of great discussions about it. Our group is all married couples, so we had some great discussion about what that looks like, and how we we're reviewing things a little bit differently. So go back and listen to that one. Dustin talking about family roles for the husbands and the wives. And then we spent all day about half the day on Saturday at family conference. And Pastor John, we had all of the Ott family up there on the stage, had some great worship, had some good time, discussing things at tables. Great turnout, delicious food, mind-boggling food. Although I'm going to tell you, here's my only disappointment, right? I'm going to pass this along to Hannah. There's no mashed potatoes.
Well, we had the cheesy potato casserole, which was potatoes and bomb, might I add. But there was less of that than anything else.
Yeah, I think I missed that. I think I was being
it was
humble.
Right next to the dumplings.
See, I got some dumplings, and I got nothing against dumplings. Dumplings just aren't my thing. It's not bad.
Love gravy smothered biscuits.
That's true. Well, that is just gravy on the biscuit.
It's literally little biscuits in gravy.
I will say a shout out to Dogwood Cafe. Fantastic dumplings, chicken and dumplings. Had that, some mashed potatoes last night. It's delicious. Mac and cheese, all good stuff.
Dogwood is
Dogwood's fantastic.
Yeah, if you've never been to Dogwood, what are you doing?
Yeah, Cracker Barrel was great on Saturday, but Dogwood was better.
Yeah.
But one of my big takeaways, and Trevor, I'm curious if you had something that jumped out at you throughout that day. But one of the most important things that I feel like I heard reiterated from all of the Ott family is that your children are not more important than your spouse. I think was it Lindsay, I think it was Lindsay was talking about her parents. Like she asked her, I can't remember if she asked her mom or her dad, like, who she loved more, like, us or your, I think it was, she was talking to her mom and she's like, do you love us or dad more? And she's like, well, your dad. She said that was shocking to her. It's like, that was not the answer she was expecting.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of a joke, but
I've been asked that a few times from our kids, and it's a no-brainer. It's like, I love your mom first.
Yes.
Then you girls.
Right. And I think the important thing is it is hard to love your kids correctly and love your kids well when you don't love your spouse well.
Correct. If you put if you put their benefit above your spouse's benefit, then it's only going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Like you'll focus more on your kids, and she'll feel not supported or less than. But if you're working together, for the benefit of your kids,
then
they're only going to benefit too. So,
well, and I think the thing that you have to consider is you have your children now, but they will eventually leave, and they will cleave to their own spouse, right? And then guess who you've got left?
And that's exactly what Kathy was talking about too. She's like, you better make sure you like your husband, because eventually your kids are not going to be in the house. So it's going to be you and your husband, and that's right. I think something that stood out to me, which I agree with, I always have agreed with, but when you sit back and think about it, it's true. They were asked, what did you do specifically with your kids to make them all turn out so well and your family to turn out so well? They were like, nothing except whatever this book says, which is the Bible, which is, it's so simple.
Yeah.
But it's so true. Every question that we need answers to regarding parenting, they're all there in Scripture.
Yeah.
You just gotta look for them.
Yeah, I think loving your kids well. I think that's what Scripture teaches us, and I think if you do that, and look, we screw it up. We had this fun little panel, like, and then they got asked the question of like, what's something you wish that your parents had done differently? And then somebody said, are you sure you want to hear this? And Pastor John said, nope, I don't think I do. Right? But like,
Did them dirty.
we're gonna mess up, right? Like, just perfect example. I am such a better parent to Christian than I was to Hudson at the same age, right? There's 11 years between them. Like, wait, hold 7. There's 8 years between them, right? they're significantly different. And I've become a significantly different parent in 8 years. I got a whole lot better at being a parent in 8 years, right? Yeah. So you're going to mess up. And we've been very, very clear with Hudson, which I don't know if he likes that, but we've been very honest with him. Like, we don't really know what you're doing. Like, you're the first 15-year-old we've ever raised, right? And we're the first parents you've ever had. So we're just kind of figuring this out together. And, let's work it out. Sometimes that's gone well. Sometimes that's not gone as well. But, it's kind of like the first pancake. Sometimes they turn out a little funny, but they're still delicious.
But once you get that heat right.
Right? Yeah. Christian's like a golden brown, perfectly fluffy pancake.
Yeah.
Which I think he would appreciate being compared to a pancake. He loves pancakes. Pancakes and chicken nuggets. That's pretty much what that boy consists of. And he's adorable. It looks good in a suit too.
Yeah.
But that was family conference. I'm sorry. That was a little bit of a detour. But my kids are cute. So,
reminiscing about your own kids is nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah. See, I think that's just more old man talk.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm getting old. I think that's what it is. Yep. And then Sunday, Pastor John brought us a great message, and the one that jumped out to me so the idea was building your family on higher ground, right? And we sang higher ground at the end. Did you know that song? Did you grow up singing that song?
I knew. I grew up in a church which was pretty much exclusively hymns.
Yeah.
So I knew pretty much.
Yeah, I knew the melody, and I knew the song, but I could not think of any of the words other than "dun dun to higher ground." That's all I could think of. And then when we looked at the lyrics we were putting them in, like, oh, I know that. I know every word of that song.
I tell you, people in Vinton knew that song. Mm-hmm. 100% they knew that song. That was the loudest I'd heard them worship yet.
Yeah. Yeah. People up on the mountain were singing it as well. It was super cool. People stood, people sang. It was great. So hopefully you were singing along if you're joining us online, or wherever you were. But one of the ones that jumped out to me was this idea of God giving you a vocation as a parent.
Yeah.
Right. So you have a job. You have a job that you go to that pays you money. But you have a job, a vocation, a responsibility as a parent to shepherd your family and to raise your children well. And, it got me thinking, like, we put a lot of emphasis on being excellent in our job. Right. And that's a good thing. We absolutely should. But more than that, how much more important is it for me to be excellent at being a dad? Right. Because if I stink at my job, like, maybe I'll get reprimanded, or if I, maybe I eventually lose that job. Right. So we have that fear of, like, oh, I need to work hard. I need to be present. I need to spend time working on it. I need to improve, need to go to conferences, need to read books, need to do all these things to learn how to do my job better. Right. And be excellent at my job. But in my family, I'm just going to wing it. Right. I'll figure it out. It's fine. Right. I'll get it together. It's no big deal. Like, well, you have a job that is ultimately more important. Right.
Balance there.
And that not only does that affect your kids, but eventually that could affect their kids. Mm-hmm. And then you start your kids down this generational path. Right. Mm-hmm. All because you didn't understand that you have a job that is infinitely more important than the one that gives you money and pays the bills. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's a little scary. And I think it should be a little scary. And that it should be a little burdensome. Not to end on a terribly sad note, but but we should have that burden, right? Yeah. And that's that tremendous responsibility that I think Pastor John kind of laid on us on Sunday, but also inspired us, like, really closed out that message. Like, you can do this.
Yeah.
We can absolutely do this. And I think that the beauty of him saying that is he wasn't just saying that to an individual. He's saying that to the church, right? Yeah. So if you're a parent of children, or if you have children that you're responsible for, or if you have, a challenging family dynamic, which a lot of us do, you should be a part of a congregation. You should be part of a group. You weren't meant to do it by yourself. It's really hard. It's hard enough right, just raising kids that are not going to, at least with boys, not going to destroy the whole house and themselves with it. The fact that our house is not burned down is kind of impressive. The fact that we've only made a few trips to the ER in their lives is even more impressive. So, figured I'd get that in.
Last thing I'll say, I would dare say that if your life's mission and purpose is to go forth and make disciples like God tells us to do, I would say that starts in your own home with your children.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I had a mic, I'll just
drop it.
Drop it right there.
Incidentally, from one sound guy to all of you, don't drop the mic.
And trust me,
they're expensive.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's very expensive. But that's convicting to me too, because I have a lot to improve on as a dad as well. I'm sure any dad in this congregation would tell you the same exact thing.
Yeah.
There's many, many ways to improve, but your ministry starts in your own home.
Yeah. Well, Trevor, I'll say one thing that I think we're both doing correct is we have raised our children in the nurture and admonition of the Michigan Wolverines. And I'm very proud of that.
Yep.
So
they may not like them, but daggone it, they respect the rich tradition and history.
You know what's funny is there's somebody that's like, man, he's really going to say like they've done a great job raising their kids in Jesus.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I was going to be hesitant to agree with you. Yeah.
Look, I can't end too seriously. We can't have any of that. But yes, make sure you're participating in 40 Days to the Cross. Read through those family devotionals. If you didn't get one, it's available on the app digitally, which is how most people are reading things anyways. I mean, let's be honest. Paper is going out. You're reading on your phone anyways. So make sure you're participating in those. We'll see you hopefully if ladies, gentlemen, you're not invited, but we're not invited. Ladies, if conference,
If one night.
If one night, that's it. That's happening this Friday. You can still get your tickets. Stephen Curtis Chapman will be here Saturday, and we'll be back at church on Sunday, 9 and 10:30. 10:30 at Vinton, 9 and 10:30 online and on the mountain.
Be there or be square.
See, now that makes us sound old. That's really old. We've got to figure out what the old man phrase is from our generation. So thanks for joining us for another episode of Midweek Motivation. Have a great week. Stay motivated.
Stay motivated, my friends.
Let's go.